So if you're even a little bit interested in health and longevity, you've almost certainly heard of guys like Andrew Huberman, Peter Attia, and Brian Johnson, right? But let's be honest, their advice can feel like this giant tidal wave of information coming at you. So today, we're going to decode the philosophies of these experts plus one more to help you find that crucial signal in all the noise. Let's get into it. Look, in the world of wellness, there is just so much advice out there. And even though every expert is basically chasing the same goal, optimal health, their methods can feel like they're from completely different planets. And that, of course, can be super confusing. I mean, have you ever felt completely overwhelmed trying to figure out whose protocol you should follow? If you have, you are so not alone. That's a totally normal feeling when you're just trying to do the right thing for your health. Yeah, it really can feel like you're trying to drink from a fire hose. So that's what we're here for. We're going to break down the core ideas of 4 of the biggest names in the game: the neuroscientist Andrew Huberman, the physician Peter Attia, the biohacker Gary Brecka, and the kind of radical anti-aging entrepreneur Brian Johnson. Okay, so first things first, we have to understand the unique lens each of these experts uses to look at health. This is really the key to figuring out why their recommendations can sometimes seem so different. So let's kick things off with Andrew Huberman. He's a Stanford neuroscientist, and his entire framework is built around one big idea: using specific behaviors, all grounded in hard science, to actually steer your own biology. You can almost think of him as the ultimate how-to guide for your body's operating system. Now, the real beauty of Huberman's work is just how actionable it all is. He's a huge champion of zero-cost tools, like getting a little bit of morning sunlight to set your internal clock, which, by the way, controls everything from your sleep to your energy levels. He gives you these incredible frameworks for managing dopamine to stay motivated, and for using things like cold and heat to build some serious mental and physical resilience. It's all very structured, it's all evidence-based, and it really puts you in the driver's seat of your own health. All right, next up, Dr. Peter Attia. He's a physician, and he's laser-focused on extending not just your lifespan, but your health span, which is the number of years you actually live in good, vibrant health. His whole approach is deeply medical, it's very data-driven, and it's all about being proactive. He treats longevity like a sport, calling it the centenarian decathlon, and says you have to train for it. And this quote, it just perfectly sums up his entire philosophy. For Attia, before you even think about fancy supplements or complicated diets, you have to get your exercise house in order. He argues, pretty convincingly, that exercise is the single most powerful tool we have to fight off disease and physical decline as we age. See, Attia's whole world is built on data. He's always telling you to know your numbers. That means training to improve things like your VO2 max, which is one of the strongest predictors of how long you'll live. It also means doing proactive medical screening, like measuring your ApoB particle count, which is a way more accurate predictor of heart disease risk than those standard cholesterol panels you usually get. Okay, let's switch gears a bit and talk about Gary Brecka. He comes from the world of human biology and this field called biohacking, which is basically just using science and self-experimentation to optimize your body's systems. His approach is all about fine-tuning things at the cellular level, and he often uses cutting-edge tech and genetic insights to do it. For Brecka, the entire philosophy starts with something incredibly fundamental: oxygen. He argues that most of us are actually under-oxygenated, and he emphasizes simple things like breathing through your nose to fix it. From that starting point, he then dives really deep into your personal genetics to tailor everything: your diet, your supplements, you name it. It's really an approach for anyone who's looking for that next level, totally personalized optimization. And finally, we have Brian Johnson, the founder of the Blueprint Protocol. Now, he represents the absolute most extreme end of this spectrum. You got to think of him as a fascinating, living, breathing experiment in radical, data-obsessed anti-aging. Yeah, Johnson's protocol isn't really a guide for the rest of us. It's more like his own personal moonshot to reverse the aging process. I mean, everything is measured, from his ridiculously precise diet to the dozens and dozens of supplements he takes every day. He's constantly tracking hundreds of biological markers, all in an attempt to lower his biological age. Look, it's wildly impractical for most people, but it is a fascinating peek at the absolute limits of human optimization. So now you can probably see why it all gets so confusing, right? Each of these experts is looking at our health through a completely different primary lens, which, of course, is going to lead to different priorities and different recommendations. This chart really lays it out perfectly. Huberman is your behavioral neuroscientist. Attia is your longevity-focused MD. Brecca is the biohacker digging into your genes, and Johnson is the data-driven anti-aging pioneer. The thing is, they aren't necessarily contradicting each other. They're just focusing on different pieces of the exact same puzzle. But okay, this is the most important takeaway of this whole thing. Despite all their different approaches, when you strip everything else away, you find this incredibly powerful set of foundational principles that all four of these guys agree on. This right here is where the magic happens. And here they are, the universal truths, the four pillars. No matter who you listen to, these are the absolute non-negotiables. Number 1, exercise. You have to move your body, period. 2, master your metabolic health, which really starts with managing your blood sugar. 3, sync your circadian rhythm. That's your body's internal 24-hour clock by optimizing your sleep. And 4, actively manage your stress with tools like breathwork. This right here, this is the foundation for everything else.
So you see, the goal isn't to become a perfect carbon copy of any one of these experts. The goal is to use their incredible wisdom to build a personalized protocol that actually works for your life. And a great way to start is just by asking yourself a few simple questions.
First up, what are you even optimizing for? Seriously, is it raw athletic performance? Is it mental clarity and cognitive function? Or is it simply living a long, healthy life without chronic disease? Your goal is what defines your strategy. Second, and you gotta be honest with yourself here, what are you actually willing to do long term? Some super extreme protocol that you only follow for 2 weeks is, well, it's useless. Consistency is everything. The best plan is always the one you can stick with. And finally, you have to become your own scientist. You have to pay attention. Experiment a little. Track how you feel, how you sleep, how you perform. At the end of the day, your own body is the ultimate source of data. So the ultimate takeaway is this. Use these experts as your guides, not as gurus. Take the principles that really resonate with you, test them out for yourself, and build a sustainable lifestyle that is uniquely, completely yours. I know all this information can feel overwhelming, but your starting point can be so simple. Maybe it's just a 10-minute walk every morning. Maybe it's cutting out sugary drinks. The question is, after hearing all this, what's the first brick you're going to lay for your own foundation? What's the one small change you'll make today?